and today we have a guest here. In Ghana, they'll call my hair Indomie. They'll call my
what for like ramen?
Yeah, they used to call my hair Indomie because it's like curly and stuff, right? Yeah. And at the same time, like in Japan, a lot of people are so fascinated by my hair and they're like, oh, like that's so cool, you know.
When I think about my hair, I think about a relationship which I built from a really young age with my mom.
And it's so cute.
Especially as a Muslim woman who wears a hijab and you have to cover your hair. Like, what does your hair mean?
I think I started associating good Muslim women as women who are modest and wear the hijab.
So there's water in Ghana, please. But people don't want to do all of that.
they have to know.
They have to know there's water.
We're not saying there's no water.
It's like
hello, welcome back to Voices Unveiled. We are on episode 4. Yay. So my name is Athens and I'm a co-host.
And I am Rahima. I'm also a co-host. And today we have a guest here. Ta-da!
And she will introduce herself because we don't want to be butchering anyone.
So my name's Maha and I'm originally from Bangladesh. It's nice to see you guys.
Yay! So today we're going to talk about the most amazing topic to me. Today we're going to be talking about the power of hair, and we're going to articulate how hair has a way of telling stories about our identity, and also how in some communities hair has been used as a measure or instrument to measure the beauty standards. So we welcome any opinions on the comments, like, subscribe, and
and share and all of that.
Let's
get into it.
Okay, so getting into it, I want to ask you guys what does hair mean to you guys? Like your hair, what does it mean to you?
Okay, so first off, because I'm mixed race, my hair means a lot to me. Like having that African genes and have African hair type, it's really like nice because I'm able to like manipulate my hair in so many ways. Braids, I can straighten it, I can curl it, I can do so many things that I want with my hair, and it makes me feel very confident. And I confident. And like growing up, I get so many compliments on my hair. In Ghana, they'll call my hair Indomie. They'll call my
what for like ramen?
Yeah, they used to call my hair Indomie because it's like curly and stuff, right? Yeah. And at the same time, like in Japan, a lot of people are so fascinated by my hair and they're like, oh, like that's so cool, you know. And I can put my hair up in afro. Like my hair type is, I think, 4A. So I can put my hair in afro, in curls, in straight, like in braids, every single thing I can do to my hair. And it's really nice to be able to do that because if my hair was like 4C, it would be very difficult to like do certain styles and maintain it for a long time. But if my hair was also like Asian, really straight, that would also be difficult to like do. I mean, I would have to perm it and all of that. But since I have like my hair type, thank God, it's great. I like it.
So like your hair means beauty to you, like flexibility.
Beauty. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's her originality.
Your originality. Like it also means like it also tells your identity that I'm mixed. Like
exactly. Yeah. It tells a lot. Like once you see my hair, you know, okay, I'm not from one place.
Yeah, because because even like if someone looks at you and looks at your hair, the first thing they think of is like, oh, she's mixed. In where I come from, they'd say you are the colored, like you're colored, have white, have stuff like that. Well, for me, my hair, like my hair means a lot about my identity. My hair tells you a lot more about my family. Well, to me, because people wouldn't be looking at me and then suggest, oh, family, you know. To me, my hair means family because I have a lot of stories where growing up, I'm a first daughter to my mom. So when my mom first got me, she was so excited about having a daughter. And apparently when I was born, I was one of those kids who was born with like hair all over the head. So my mom never got to cut my hair off. She started growing it up from when I was born, right? So for her, my relationship with her was built on she doing my hair, you know. So when I think about my hair, I think about a relationship which
With
I
my
built from a really young age with my mom. And
it's so cute.
Yeah,
It is.
So
That's a really
cute. Oh
nice,
my
like,
goodness.
yeah. And also like a lot of stories, I never really got to cut my hair because I was born with full hair. But then growing up again, apparently when I was young, when I was 1 year old, I woke up and shaved all of my hair, half of it off.
she
And
crazy.
and my mom was at work and she was like, "What the fuck?" She literally started beating me because she was like, "I poured all my oil into this, you know."
Yo,
so it's
that
like,
amount of
I get it though.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh.
yeah. So it's like,
if I was your mom, I'll kill you.
Yeah,
because the way I like playing with hair and all of that.
exactly. So like she was so angry,
Why
and you
would
know,
you do that?
I don't even know I
She
was one.
So
I was a kid.
I get it. It's an excuse, but like
I was literally a
insane.
kid. So you know, you first think of like, okay, she can't have half of her hair. Maybe let's cut it off so it grows. But my mom didn't do that. She literally bought like the hair growth, the growth.
She just kept it
and
like
then
that?
kept on like so it could grow and like get to like a bit like
The same
and then she cut it off so it's like, so I never really got to cut my hair as a kid. And another thing, what it means to me, it also represents my culture, because in my Xhosa culture we have this thing where if someone closer to you dies in your family, you have to shave all of your
is
hair.
that culture, right?
Yeah, like you have to go bald.
Yeah.
If someone really close to you in
Have
your
you gone
family.
bald?
Yeah, in 2019 my granddad passed on, so he was a really close granddad, so I had to shave all of my hair. And that was the first time in my life, like as an adult, where I saw myself with no hair, and I was just like, oh my god.
But
why do you have to shave your hair though?
It shows, well, I don't really know I can't tell you like the exact roots of it, but when I was told that time when I had to cut my hair, my mom was like, "Oh, you need to cut it," and I was crying like, "Oh, my hair!" But she told me it represented like you're showing respect to the person who just died. So that's basically it. Like you're showing respect and also the love you had for this someone else. Because it's also like, and for me it represented exactly that respect and love I had for my granddad, because my hair is one of the things on my body that I love so much. Like I would take care of my hair. I don't want anyone to be touched. When I was young and go to hair salons and then they would do my hair like really bad, I would literally cry for the entire day because I love my hair looking good. Like so when I had to cut off my hair, mind you, that was the first time
it means a lot
as that old having to cut my hair off. So and I had to shave it off because of him. So for me it showed like, okay, I'm cutting off something that meant a lot to me, because I'm trying to show you also that I respect you and I love you that much, you know, to sacrifice what I wanted.
You feel like whilst they're shaving your hair? Because I've seen like a video of that.
Girl, that was
really
I would cry painful. So much. Like it was so painful. I remember that day, like after I cut it off, because that day everyone in my family cut their hair off. My mom, my little sister, my dad, my brother. But for my brother and dad, it's a normal thing. Even for my mom and little sister, my little sister has this relationship with her hair where for her she could just wake up and cut her hair because it grows really fast, so she doesn't really care. And for me, when I was growing up, like my hair didn't really grow up that fast, so when it grew to that length that it was, I hold on to it and I was like, I will never cut it off. So seeing it like fall down, it was the worst pain ever. It was like I cried, and afterwards I kept asking my mom, like I kept asking everyone, my brother, do I really look good? And my little sister was like, yes, you look good. And I'm like, girl, you don't understand. You know the crazy thing, when I cut it off on a Sunday. The next day I had to go to school.
Guys,
girl, I walked into a class. I walked into the class. Everyone was laughing, slow motion. And I was like, at that point I thought, oh my, I know I'm ugly. I'm not cute.
If it's in your culture, like in school, you guys have like with the culture too, right?
Xhosa.
I can't say it.
Well, because I'm from Lesotho, right? Yeah. And I'm also like Xhosa as well. So it's like in Lesotho,
you guys didn't have anybody?
No, I had a close friend who was also Xhosa. Her name was Wezwe. The thing is, it's like in Lesotho, everyone is Sotho.
Okay.
So if you're Xhosa, then it clearly means like, well, you're not Sotho in a way, because you're not Sotho.
It's something different.
Yeah, so it's something different.
I
But
see.
also in the Sotho culture, there are other like clans, like let me just say tribes in a way, that also have the culture where they will cut their hair too, right? Yeah. So
I see.
it's a common
so
thing.
Wouldn't it would like, if someone were to laugh at you because you did it for a cultural significance, it wouldn't be
No,
considered.
they're
They
not
wouldn't
really laughing
know.
that deep. It's just like,
They're
damn,
just like
girl,
kids,
you're
like
bald.
they're just like, you're bald and you look different.
Really? Because
Yeah,
the way I was thinking is like, if she cut it, obviously means somebody close
Somebody,
to her
yeah.
path.
No.
So
No,
people
They
would
wouldn't
like,
know, because the school also I went to, it's like we had like a choice to do whatever we want with our hair. We wouldn't get braids. We would do like cornrows and stuff.
You
There
were
are
not
other,
allowed braids?
no, we were not allowed braids. But and the thing in Lesotho, it's like there are public schools and also there are other schools where you can do your hair, and there are other public schools where you have to shave off your hair. Like that's a rule of the school. Like where my mom
Even
works,
girls?
yeah, even girls, they have to shave all of their
Yeah,
hair.
I shaved my
Yeah.
hair for high school.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I
What?
shaved bald, like I was bald
But
for high
why?
school.
That's,
I don't know,
that,
because
those
like
are the
when you go
rules.
to boarding school, you don't have the time to maintain your hair.
Doing
So I
it
think
like
they just-
self-choice, I understand, but like that's a rule. Like you
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
some
rule.
schools
Like
it's
I
a
told,
rule.
and there's exceptions for people, like if you have like a medical report that says like your hair, you had light tender headed or something, yeah, then they don't like let you, you know. But I wanted that kind of report, and I told my dad like, can you go get me one of those reports, even though I don't have anything
But
yet.
still, I get it.
Yeah.
You want to keep your
He
hair.
was like, bro, you're not special.
Yeah.
You're not any different from all the other people going to shave their hair.
Yeah.
If my kid wanted that, I would be like, I'll write it myself. I am the doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Yeah, but
I get it.
It's literally a thing where in most schools, especially where I come from, it's a lot of schools shave off their hair. And when I asked my mom, because she works at a school where like
You have to
that
shave
is
your head.
she would tell me it's something of like, well, some people come from different backgrounds. If we allowed students to wear their hair whichever way they wanted, some would come with like cute hairstyles looking pretty, and others would barely maintain it. So it would like show the differences in like
the class difference.
the class differences in like the students. So they want students to be equal. And also the rule makers made it like, it's like you guys would be clean, more clean as a collection, because if someone had their hair up there and someone had their hair shaved off, others had their short hair, so it would be like the imbalance of like, you know, so it made them look good as a collective, like clean. That's what they would say, associate with being clean as well.
What about Maha though?
Yeah, Maha, especially, and this is interesting because I really want to know what your hair means to you. Because you know, with me and hair, we are telling you like our hair, we show it off and like we do different styles and stuff like that. So how does like hair mean to you, especially as a Muslim woman who wears a hijab and you have to cover your hair? Like, what does your hair mean?
Okay, so I'll go from like the beginning. So when I was born, like you said, I was also born with like a full head of hair. So for me, like I grew up like consistently being complimented. If there was like one thing about me that I was always complimented on, it was my hair. You know, they were like, oh my god, it's like so full. You have so much of it, and it's so beautiful. And then, you know, like my aunts, like from my mom's side, her sisters would always say something like, because my mom was born blonde, they'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if you were also blonde? So it was just something, you know, based on the color. I get it, genetics wise, I got my dad's color, not my mom's. But as I grew up, it was honestly, if anything, I would say in secondary school, for me, it just got in the way. You know, like I was always like playing sports, like every sports I was a part of. So for me, it was like annoying to take care of, you know, because it was like my mom always wanted it long. So she never let me cut it until I was like 16.
How long was your hair?
My hair was like up till here. Yeah, it was long and it was so annoying. And you know, when you're playing sports, it's like getting in your face. It was really frustrating. So when my parents made the decision to move back to Bangladesh, I remember I landed and the heat, I could not take it. So I chopped it up till here. My mom didn't speak to me for like a week. And then
and there's a thing with like mothers when you cut off your hair.
She wanted my hair long. She didn't speak to me for a week. But then, because I was in Bangladesh, then I was more exposed to like Islamic culture compared to before. Then I'd say I started seeing hair as a very different thing, because in the UK, it's like nobody cares, like it's not a topic of conversation ever based on your hair. But in BD, if you're around like the older generation, specifically like Muslim older women that do wear the hijab, and you don't, it's considered like a sign of disrespect almost, that the fact that you're showing your hair. So I guess like for me, if I knew I was hanging out with like a lot of older people in my family or otherwise, I would like just put a veil over my head that day. Especially if you enter a mosque, it's very polite to wear the hijab or like something to cover your hair. But then when I was starting to make the decision about the hijab, it was hard, because when you have like that central feature, like this is the thing that people love about you and they start complimenting you. It's very hard to make the decision to put the hijab on. And at that time, like, like people in my family, they didn't wear the hijab. So for me, it was very much my decision, not forced upon me. But, within the Islamic world, most girls would not have a choice when the hijab. No, you know what? I'm not going to say most. Some girls would not have the choice to put it on. It would be like it's expected, because the way Islam says, it's like when a girl starts her period, she's supposed to start wearing the hijab. That's when it becomes mandatory. But it's also your choice if from that point you want to put it on or not. So because my parents, they never forced it upon me, it was not something I'd even thought of, like someday I'd put on the hijab or something. But
so your dad never like forced you?
He never talked about it. It wasn't just so I did ask him.
I think
once,
that's
like,
why you're able to like freely like keep it on, like whenever you're going out,
because it was my decision. It's now part of my identity. Of course, I don't think any hijabi girl out there would ever say we're prettier with the hijab on than without, because like when you choose to stop showing your hair, you do it as like a willing choice, like for God, to show that I am Muslim. You start putting on the hijab, because you see a Muslim woman and you see the hijab, it's automatic, which religion they're part of, right? So that's also, it's like an identifying feature.
It's also very modest.
It is. So when you put it on, it's not just about not showing your hair. Suddenly it's like you're a representation of the religion. So the actions you do really like talks about your religion, because say I'm in Japan right now, most people have not seen the hijab before. So whatever I do, it's like it's an extension of my religion. Like this is now how they would think, like, oh, so Muslim women are really mean, or like they do really bad stuff if that's what I did, But at the same time, it's also about your clothes. Like you can no longer wear tight clothes, short clothes. You have to make sure you're covered up all the time. So it was a very like, how can I say, it was really hard mentally for me,
because you didn't just put on a hijab, you had to change
everything about myself. And like I said, I grew up very sporty, so like showing skin, wearing shorts, like in tournaments or stuff, and I did swimming competitively. So like these type of costumes were not something I actively thought about before, but now say when I go to the gym with you guys, I have to very actively think like, what can I wear that's still modest but I can work out.
But what made you want to stop showing your hair, and, like covering up, being modest and all of that?
What
was the main
because you were not forced on it, right? You had a choice.
It was not, the first week I put my hijab on, nobody in my family knew, because I would be the last one to leave the house and the first one back, so nobody knew I was wearing the hijab. So the reason I started wearing it is actually, I personally, growing up with Islam, I personally had a very positive relationship with it, because my parents never like enforced anything about Islam on me. So when we moved back to Bangladesh, I would say now that I was in a Muslim community, I could understand the love people have for the faith. And on my dad's side of the family, like, when you just have like good representation of the religion, like that's my dad's side, like I could talk about it with my aunts, my cousins, my uncles, my grandfathers, like everybody. And it's like, when you talk to them about the religion, it's genuine love. Like it's never about, if you don't do this, you're going to hell type of, it's like genuine love for the religion. And I started appreciating it more. And then, like some of my aunts, they would wear the hijab and they wear the burqa. And I think I started associating good Muslim women as women who are modest and wear the hijab. So that sort of,
I think, like
to it.
the whole idea of being forced and all of that too, because mine, when it comes to my hair, because I'm also Muslim, right?
Yeah.
When I was a child, like they would always force me to cover my hair, like
connotation, right?
even when you're leaving the house, like even when I was in yet on my period and stuff, right? Like I would still have to go out, even say I'm going to simply go buy something at the supermarket, right, in the area. I would still have to put on a hijab and everything. And if like my uncles see me outside without a hijab, they'll be so mad, or like they'll be like, go back and wear a hijab, and they'll be like yelling at you, you know. So I didn't really have a positive like
growing,
you know.
So
like I didn't really think of it, like I'm just like, like why do we have to put it on, you know. And I wanted to show off my hair because like I love my hair,
and it's like the restriction makes you want to do it more because it doesn't come from within you. I understand that.
So like the restrictions I had, like I remember one time I was going for vacation classes, and we go to vacation classes at my uncle's school, right? So I was on my way there, and he was in a car, and he saw me, like I was walking to go get a public transport, and he saw me, and he's like, go back home. I wasn't wearing a hijab. He's like, go back home. I remember I've worn my cute skirt, my everything, and I'm gonna go show off to everybody that I look better.
So I
look really good with this uniform, you know.
You even combed it well.
I did everything. I was ready. And then he saw me. He was just like, "Why are you not wearing a hijab?"
But at that time you were young.
No, I was there. I think I was in junior high school at that time.
Like, but I had a lot of friends whose families enforced the hijab upon them. And then when I'd hang out with them, the second they were out of their family,
they take it off.
But I'm also
curious. Outfits
that was
and everything.
Me.
Like
that
I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Because you know, my dad and I, like, if he doesn't like what I'm wearing, he'll tell me. And if I disagree, I'll still leave the house with that outfit on, and he wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't be something I'm like, I can't wear this in front of my dad, so let me change in the car. Like, if he really didn't like it,
I think once there's a restriction, or like children are rebellious. So once there's a restriction to it, that's when we want to do it more. So I feel like because I have that association of, like wearing a hijab is not freedom for me, right? It doesn't mean to be free. And once I got my freedom, it also went off. Do you understand? Like everything
because for you, it was like, if I put it on, I'm conforming to what they want me to.
Exactly. So it's like every time I go outside to hang out with my friends, I'm going like till I get to the public transportation, it's on my head. I enter the car and it's off. I put it in my bag somewhere. I go hang out with my friends. On my way back, I take it off. I just put it on. You know? So it's not like it's like I've wanted to stop wearing it for a long time because I felt like it was forced on me. It wasn't like really, I wasn't free. Do you understand? So it wasn't my choice. So then I was just like, okay, when I moved to Japan, like my dad was here. So in Japan, we were still like wearing hijab and everything, right? And sometimes we'd go out, we'll still do the same formats. But then when he left, I don't remember, like, when he left, we stopped wearing the hijab and everything. And even now, when he comes back, like, we go out, we don't even wear the hijab anymore. You know? Is
it something that he's more accepting about now?
I guess. Like,
I guess he can't really say anymore.
I guess he can't really say anything about it. I think he would suggest, like, he would want us to wear. Obviously, when I go to Ghana and I'm hanging out with him, I put on the hijab. Like, when I'm in Ghana, I still put on the hijab because I don't want my uncles to see me and be like, oh, why are you not wearing the hijab and all of that. Do you understand?
Still, you know, for me, it was the complete opposite. Because I didn't grow up in BD, when I put it on, a lot of my family members were like, you know, you're kind of young. Maybe you want to wait for like a couple of years until after marriage to put it on, because what if you go back out and you want to take it off? And for them, the way my family sees it, it's like, they'd rather you put it on at a later stage but be 100% confident, but put it on early and then take it off and then put it on again after a certain age. So people, I'm not going to say like they discouraged me to wear the hijab, but they were definitely like skeptical. Especially they knew that once we moved back that my sister and I, we were not going to stay in BD. So my family, like the women, they would come and have like talks with me individually once I put it on. They were like, Maha, are you sure? Like, is this for a boy? You know, you can talk to us. And the thing is, I really could, like, if I was having, like, issues and I was like, yeah, I did it to impress somebody, they would 100% be on my side. But they were very sweet about it. They were like, you know, if this is something you want to do, we support it. But if there's ever a time where you feel like maybe this doesn't speak to you anymore, please come talk to us so that we can help.
So you can have a choice to not wear it anymore.
I mean, that's my decision. If I want to take it off 100%.
Yeah, I mean, religious-wise, you have to put it on.
Yeah, religiously, no, I would not.
And the reason is not like the way we are saying you have to put it on. It's not negative, like we are being forced to put it on. There's reasons why you should put it on.
Yeah, because I was
women's
asking,
hair is beautiful and men.
Oh yeah, because I was about to ask that, because you know how growing up for me, when I started going on my periods, like my grandmother would press a lot on, like, oh, don't wear too a lot of short skirts, because you know it's your body is developing, you know.
It's
so for you guys it's the same.
So like your hair is beautiful in a way that like men, when they see that much beauty, they're lustful, you know. So it's like you have to cover it up. It's not like you have to cover it up and look not beautiful. Even like Maha wears the hijab and she's so pretty, right? It's like,
thank you.
It's like you put it on, cover your hair, and it's something so special. You know, in Islam, we hold the hair not in a negative way. It's like really, it's so special.
It's
hair is really
like you guys have seen me without the hijab. Right? It's supposed to be something like that. Beauty is preserved
for your husband,
for like your absolute loved ones, like people that would appreciate
it's really nice.
It's really nice. That's what I'm saying. When you said for your husband, I was like, it's so to get
like
into the why. Like,
you know, like the mindset behind it and like the reason behind it is really, really beautiful. And if like, I feel like if I was when I was a kid and they tell me like, oh, like you should put it on because your hair is very special and not every boy deserves to see your hair and all of that. If they told me in that way, I think it would be much better. Like it would be much easier for me than to say, go and wear your hijab, go and do this.
Yes, like, exactly. Like, you know? The way
they don't communicate the real like the real reason, thing, you know. So it's like, but in Islam, the true like reasons is because like your hair is really precious. It's very beautiful. God knows how beautiful your hair is. That's why He wants you to cover it up so you can show it to your loved one. Like it's like, you know, when people get married, like, you know how the groom like, turns and then he sees your wedding dress and
it's
everything.
Like a like he sees your hair for the first time. Like,
you know,
it's a very cute thing.
Oh, really?
Like not until you marry, like you make it official that he can see your hair. So now it makes him feel more special. Like I'm the only man who can see your hair.
Oh,
do you understand?
And it's like because he can appreciate it to the maximum without being like just lustful for, you know, that one thing that men want. It's more about like he gets to see it because he's the one that's going to appreciate you and take care of you for the rest of your life.
So there's a really, really good reason behind it. So it's not only like, I know some countries like something like Afghanistan, a place like Afghanistan. We did like a research and like project on it when I was in high school, talking about women have to cover up their hair, women have to do this, women have to do that. And the project was more on the negative reasons why women have to like by force cover up their hair and all of that. And it's like we're forcing them.
Yeah, because I feel like for a lot of people, especially like for someone who is not Muslim, like it would,
you think
the
like
automatic
it's
opinion I have. It's like, oh, they're oppressed. Because I remember I used to, in high school, there was this one girl, and I think she was from Pakistan, and when we went to the same primary school, and we used to see her hair. She was really pretty, right? But when we went to high school, all of the sudden, she covered her hair, right? And for me, like I was just like, why is she covering her hair? Like for me, like the way I thought about it at the time was like, oh, like are you being forced? Like are you okay? You know, stuff like that. And it's for a lot of people who don't know about the Muslim culture, who actually religion, right?
Yeah,
Muslim. Sorry. The it's religion
okay.
that
there's a culture.
It's a culture too.
Oh, yeah. So it's like Muslim religion, and they automatically think that for a Muslim girl who wears a hijab, it's like forced on you. And
I think like the whole oppression.
It's like, a very like white mentality of how Islam is viewed, and I think I understand it because in the Western media, the women you see on like the screen that wear the hijab are like victims of like the Taliban or something, you know.
Exactly,
So, it's like,
exactly. So that's
they're
like
doing
that
it
was
to
our
protect
projects, like
their-
Taliban's and stuff,
See,
right?
that's what I grew up hearing too.
So it's
So
like
when I studied it in school, it was definitely like I understand why the Western people would consider it as a sign of oppression. But I think
because of the way
because
it's
of that, I
being-
think it's a lack of education.
Oh yeah,
It's like a lack of knowledge. In
exactly.
That part,
So it's only like the negative sides of it that's only taught, but it's not like that. People, I have this one friend, she's called Kalima. She'll probably be watching this video too. But yeah.
Hi, Kalima.
But like for her, when she was in Ghana, she was like, she would like cover up or something. And I think like it got to a point she stopped covering her hair. And then when she came, like when she was in Japan, like she started like covering up a little bit. And now like she's covering up more, you know? So it's like, she's been able to find that, you know, her own decision. Like she's made that decision for herself to put it on. So it makes it so much easier
when you find your own reason.
Because her dad was also strict, you know.
Like, have you guys realized ever since we started talking about this hair, we've been talking about it as beauty. Because it's like
I don't want you guys to think like I put it on only because like men get lustful gazes and I was stepping away from it.
We get it.
When I started doing my research about Islam, it was about like, you know, the most common thing you see, like why should women wear the hijab? Because men are lustful and they see your hair and they get turned on. But for me, I was like, I am not gonna choose to cover my hair because a man would view it as a certain way. For me, the verse that stood out for me was that God was telling us as women, as Muslim women, to give up that portion of our beauty to show our submission to Him. So that's the way I take it. You know, that, like, for me, this is a sign of my faith to Him.
The last part is what they teach us when we're growing up. So it's like cover your head because men are lustful.
That's the thing. Like the way they
don't
teach
like
you
that
as
connotation that it always has to be linked to men.
So it's like, but why like, now I have to suffer because someone is lustful? You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That was my thing. I was just like, just because men are lustful, I'm not gonna cover my head.
Because Ghana is hot. Ghana is hot.
In Islam, that's a very negative thing too. Like men are not supposed to look at you and feel lust.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
If there was a Muslim woman who had like, you know, alopecia, where your hair comes out. So if there was a Muslim woman who by choice decided to shave all of her hair and go bald, or maybe by the condition of she's sick and so she doesn't have hair, like would it still be considered for her to wear a hijab? Oh no,
with medical reasons that's out of your control, it is not mandatory. For example, you know, I have
one thing about Islam is we're never forced to do anything.
But however, as women, if you're purposely choosing to shave your head, that's also, as far as I know, not allowed, because you're encouraged to keep your hair long because that's a sign of your beauty. So you can't constantly keep shaving just because you're like, I like it like that.
Oh really?
I've never heard of that. Actually.
So because I've never met a Muslim person who
has
bald.
Because maybe
so I'm like, if she's
not
bald,
allowed, it's more
why should she wear a hijab?
Yeah, that's what I'll say. It's
not discouraged. Like if you have hair, it's sunnah. So it's like if you have hair, like you're like blessed or whatever. Yeah. But if you don't, it's not. Like, if you cut it off, it's not a problem.
I'm not saying like if you shave it, it's not like sinful.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like you're
like
encouraged.
It's a blessing. You keep it long. That's what
because
it means.
It's a sign of beauty. Right?
Like example, they say like if you smile, it's sunnah. That doesn't mean you go around smiling to everybody or like your face is like the entire time. Obviously, if you smile, you've gotten blessings. But
apologies,
So that's what it like so far. Like I think the whole concept of like Islam and then hair and everything is very interesting because some people have like different perspectives and thoughts of it.
Have your own research about it. But for you said like when that schoolmate, when she started wearing the hijab, like you yourself thought maybe she's oppressed.
I thought
that you've been friends with me and Rahima, like would you say it's changed, like your views about hijab?
No, like my views about hijabs changed a long time ago when I first learned that people who don't wear hijabs but they're still Muslim and they're still girls, you know.
Of course.
So it completely changed because for me at that time I thought, okay, maybe now that you start going on your periods, now everyone has to wear a hijab, and they have to, because now it's forced on them in a way, So when I realized that, there are people who still don't wear hijabs, then it completely changed. Like, okay, then kind of sort of not the same thing that I was thinking about, but yeah, like
within
now
the African culture, would you say like
hair is important in African
I know
culture.
that
like our
braids,
hair
cornrows,
is
dreads,
beautiful.
like, it's
our hair is beautiful.
We like so many things with our hair.
Like, that's why I always say it's the power. Like every time I post my Instagram, like the power of hair, because I'm like, I can wake up in what I can wake up wearing my hair in whatever style I want to, and that means
African history wise, hair was very important because we would braid our hairs, like they would braid their hairs in a way that draws like a map of a plantation, how to escape and all of that. They would also braid your hair and put like seeds in it, to kind of like, so it means it stands a lot. And also like in African hair is very different. Like everyone has different textured hair. If you see an Ethiopian's hair is different from West African, South African,
or Southern African person.
Ethiopian hairs are really nice, bro.
and that's where I want us to talk about. Like, you see where we have this thing of like, we've been talking about hair and all we've been saying is beauty. Like, how hair is used as in our cultures is used as an instrument of beauty. Like, what if for someone who doesn't have hair, does it mean they're not beautiful anymore?
No, they are.
You know what I mean?
They are.
Because the way we like beauty on hair, it's kind of giving an annotation that, okay, if you don't have hair, you're not that pretty. No. And that's how, like, well, for where I come from, that's why when I shave up my hair, people laughed. Like,
no, but
actually, for most of the people, it's something of like, even the guys, it's like, I prefer a girl with long hair, like, like dense hair, like, never a girl who's bald, But
in Ghana, women shave their heads, and it's not like, we don't associate beauty with hair that much. If you have the hair, cool, but some people are there, they go bald and they are so pretty.
Yeah, that's so what I'm saying.
We don't really like pay attention to like hair, and beauty. If you shave it off, cool, you're fine. You're like even more beautiful if you had hair. Like, even more.
It's something of like, even though you have hair, the fact that we have different types of hair. There are some people who have more denser hairs. Yeah, they grow fast. Like other people have.
Can we talk about maintenance? Your maintenance.
Yeah, it's like also like different types of hair. Some people are like, oh, I remember growing up, I would be like, I don't want to have, this is so bad, but like I would look at some of my friends, I'd be like, I don't want to have hair kind of hair. I want my kind, it's something like that. It's like,
I wouldn't want your type of
and
hair,
some people would
it's
like,
so difficult to maintain.
Yeah, my hair is so difficult and it's like, it's stuff like that. Like, I don't want hair type of hair, like,
Yeah, I understand. Like, I would want 4C hair for certain reasons, because when you braid and then it doesn't get messy early.
Yeah,
but if you have a hair like mine, in less than 1 week, everything's out. So it's like different. Like, there's pros and cons to the textures and everything.
Without it like coming out.
Oh my god, it never comes out until I take it off. Yeah, like I could spend like 6
like mine.
Someone could spend like 6 months with the hair, but it also depends of like, wait, the type of braid.
Like, see, mine is coming out.
Yeah, do you want
literally coming out?
Yeah, it's also like, are you comfortable with your hair being this old? Like, it's also what you want,
Yeah. It's like, because for me, because you have to take it out.
Yeah, just cleanliness. Yeah, because for me right now, I'm just like, I'm over
so you
with
can't
this
shampoo
hairstyle. I
with
want to change it.
on.
You can. Because I shampoo with. I don't shampoo a lot, but sometimes
it's like the extensions are plastic, so it's not gonna sweat. Like, it will smell at some point. You don't want that.
Yeah. So what I would do is
also just in high school. Braids.
In high school, I used
to like reuse these extensions again.
Some people can, but others don't. I wouldn't. But in high school, like I would. In my high school back in ALA, in ALA now, that's where we did everything we wanted with our hair, and so I really
also
loved.
ALA didn't have like hair restrictions.
No, ALA didn't have any hair restrictions. I would go by whatever color I wanted as well. Oh, I loved
really
ALA.
nice.
No, yeah, I love that.
You get to high school and you get treated like an adult, and you can finally like express.
Yes, because my hair is a way of expressing myself, like how I feel.
Even in Japanese high schools,
you can't color your hair. Right?
You can't color your hair. You have to have your hair in the certain.
Oh my god!
Length.
Speaking of that, when I first started working in Japan, like my part time in Japan here, I would go by whatever colors I want. I would do blue, green, pink, and whatsoever, and purple. And so one time,
the hair color,
exactly, and one time my manager called me and was like, "Oh yeah, so there've been complaints. Some of the people here, they say they something around the lines of, or they want to do what you are doing to your hair as well. So to avoid that, because we can't have workers in pulling up in pink, because you know how Japan, you have to go by a certain color. We can't have people pulling up in pink or whatsoever like you do. So we're gonna have to ask you, like, can you do your hair black, or maybe wear something while you come to work and whatsoever." Girl, that day I was so offended, because for me I was just like, you're taking something that means so much to me. I remember that day and I remember I was like, I need to start looking for another job, not knowing like my job is even better, because other companies out here with hair that street more.
That's the thing with like
I was so
in
Japan, they're
not
very
only hair,
careful about their aesthetic. Right?
Yeah, not only hair. Everyone looks the same.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Japanese clothing and everything, everyone's literally wearing the same type of colors. It's always, nobody wants to wear a bright color to stand out.
Yeah, like for them,
you only see that in Shibuya and those places.
It's more like, oh my god, she looks so good. Like she stands out the crowd. It's a good thing. But if you tell a Japanese person you stand out the crowd, for them it's like, it's a very negative thing.
And that's the thing, is for me as a person who really likes exploring colors, it's not even about, I want to stand out. It's about, I just want to try this color. Like, it's that to me. It's not even about, I want to stand out.
Like a harmonious society, before they make a individualistic decision, they always think about like, but how would this affect the people I'm around? Like,
that's the thing.
It's
and
now
I was so head that I was like, oh my god, I need to leave.
Let them do pink, guy. If someone wants green, let them do green.
Like when I was interviewing for a job, I was like asked to take my hijab off just while I work, and I was trying to explain to them that, like, no, you don't understand. Like, it's not something I can take off as long as there's any men around. And they're like, no, it's okay. Your colleagues are females. And I'm like, no, but the customers are men. I can't take it off. And I think perhaps it was my lack of Japanese that got in the way, or their understanding of what I was trying to say. But they assumed that I wouldn't take it off, and as if I was being like disrespectful. That like I don't care about this job enough to take my hijab off because it doesn't match the aesthetic of the uniform.
Let me tell you, like the same thing you're saying, that's the way I feel like they took it from me. Because at the time they were explaining all this thing to me, I was just like, I was literally in tears. I was like, and my manager even said, can't you, because the last month I think I had black hair, so he was like, can't you take it back to a black color? And right now I had just gotten the hairstyle, it was in pink, and I'm like, bro, I was like, I cannot wake up changing this hair to a pink color. Do you know the effort that goes into doing my hair? I was like, no. And also for them, I think they thought it's something that I just a weave.
Put it on.
I just put it on. I could just take it out again. And for me, I'm like, no. And I'm like, this is how, as an African, this is how I maintain my hair. I do my hair extensions. This is how, basically how you show up as a Japanese person, and your hair is straight and it's black. For me, I show up in braids. It's part of me being African, you know? Yeah. I had to explain that, and I think they thought I was disrespecting them or something. And at that point I was just like, you know what? Tomorrow or whatever day I have work, I'll just come covering my hair. I had to literally order a fucking scarf on the internet so I can go and show up in work.
Would you say
covering
it's the
my
same
hair
for like black men? like if they showed up in like
Yeah.
cornrows and dreads to work, like would it also be considered
No,
like
even
disrespectful in
in
Japanese cultures? Because you know, like
example,
Japanese men, they also do braids and like cornrows and
yeah,
braids and whatnot.
they're not really associated like really good. But even in Ghana, if you have like braids or something, dreadlocks, it's not real. There's not really like, if you're a guy and you have that, it's like people are gonna think, bro, do you smoke weed or something? You know?
Really?
Yeah.
I think they just had the issue
with
with
you guys said it's maintenance, right?
Because it's like,
if somebody does cornrows,
because
like,
guys
for black
can
men,
just
it's
shave their
also-
hair. You know, so it's like, why are you trying to be Rasta? You know, Rasta is
I
also
see.
associated with smoking weed and all of that.
Mhm.
So when guys have braids and stuff, African parents don't really accept.
yeah,
agree to it,
and that's
you
the thing. Most, like, a lot of, maybe some don't relate to this, but a lot of African parents, when it comes to men, like as a boy, you cannot like keep your hair, like you cannot grow your hair. You
For
need
that,
to
yeah, it doesn't
cut
have to
your
be
hair,
that.
cut your
Yeah.
either cut
My
it
brother
off to
couldn't
be
even have
bald or
afro.
shave or
They-
make it
they
like
would,
short.
yeah. My brother,
I've also had like very close like African friends, like boys, and for them, like themselves, if when it grows past a certain length, they view themselves as like, oh no, I'm not as presentable anymore, so they cut it.
exactly.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's
My
very
brother had
sad.
afro, and
Yeah.
they would like tell him like, you look crazy, like you look like a
Really?
crazy person.
Yeah,
But
my brother
he just
too.
wanted
way.
afro, like
My
bro.
brother too used to keep hair as well. But for me, with my brother, it's like they didn't literally like tell him, oh, shave off your hair. In university, he used to go like afro and whatsoever. But I think at a point in his life when he was now applying for jobs and all of that, because as a guy,
to be like marketable.
to be market,
I
you
see.
need to shave your hair. So that's when he started cutting it off. And I also
in
have
the
a friend,
UK, black men do everything to their hair, and it's like cool.
even in jobs as well.
Like in jobs too, like if you go somewhere and say your server has cornrows or braids or something, it's like the most normal thing. Again, it's from what I've experienced. I'm sure people growing up, like black men growing up in the UK, can give like a different perspective. But I grew up centralized around like all my friends pretty much were black. So their brothers and stuff, I was super used to seeing them in cornrows and braids, and like that was the normal. Like nothing was considered like disrespectful or like, oh, you're untidy, you're unkempt. It was just, for them, it's the same as what you guys are saying. It was maintenance. It was easier to have it in cornrows and braids than to have it as an afro.
Wait, but your brother, was he forced, like, what did they tell him to shave all his hair off when he was young, like a kid?
Yeah.
Even as a kid?
Yeah.
Because mostly it's trends
So what about
where
now?
as a kid they don't really.
Now he kept afro for like a long time, and then he cut it off because he wanted to try something new, you know. But I think when he decided to do that, it was more of his own
decision now.
Because before they would tell him cut it off. Now he felt rebellious, not wanting to cut it off.
Yeah, I have a friend who is in uni. Like every time he has to call his parents, he has to like wear his hoodie.
Really?
Like because it's like his parents are strict on. Don't
Like,
braid your hair.
He's in uni, like he would still like hide it.
Yeah, like when he video calls his parents, he wouldn't post himself in like his
I think
hair.
like putting our hair in braids and dreads is more of, you don't want to deal with your hair every single day. Do you understand? Because
it's really hard
hydrating your hair, putting in curl stuff, putting in like hair food and all of that.
Hair what?
Hair food. You don't even know that. Hair food.
What?
You feed
you
your
have
hair.
your hair food. It's like it's like something it's like a lotion for hair.
Not really a lotion. It's like oil.
It's like Vaseline. You know Vaseline?
Yeah.
It's like Vaseline for hair.
To keep it greasy?
Yeah, to keep it moist,
moisturized,
healthy.
So if you don't apply it, what happens?
Your hair is dry. It's dry. It will cut off.
Like it will break off.
It will break off.
So there's a lot you have to do with our type of hair, you know. So it's a lot. That's why we end up putting it in braids and all of that. So we don't have to deal with it
easy maintenance, because it's easy to maintain when you are in braids. But when you take off your hair,
as much as I'm a curly,
my hair drives me crazy.
I swear, as much as I'm a curly haired person, like my hair is not curled all the time. It's not curls all the time. The moment I'm in the shower, it's curly. the moment I get out, in less than 5 minutes, everything goes back to dry and frizzy, you know? So I have to put in like the money that you put into your hair, bro. You have to buy hair oil, moisturizer, blah, blah, blah. And then it's still gonna look the same way. It's still gonna dry up. It's still gonna, like, you know, it's a lot of things that you have to do. And it's easy to break. It's easy to, you know, all of that. So for me, even like when it comes to coloring my natural hair and like bleaching or like
so
straightening,
bleach, like break it off like really quick if you're not careful with it.
So even with all of those things, I'm very like skeptical. I'm just like, I don't really want to do it because my hair, I've suffered to get it to this length. Like, I don't want it to break and then damage and all of that.
Every time I have to think about like coloring my own hair, I have to make a research, like which products are mostly recommended, which ones won't break my hair. And my entire life, I've only colored my hair once.
Because like most products,
my natural hair, it was blonde. Like I colored it blonde. I actually have like a lot of dyes in my place right now, pink and whatsoever. I brought them when I went back home because I was like, I'm gonna color it. But when you color it, you need to bleach it first, right?
Yeah.
So it's like now I don't know the Japanese products that will work on my hair.
So depending on the products, like most products are made for silky hair types, so it will work for your hair, but it's not gonna work for our hair.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Like
even like some shampoos and conditioners
that would color my hair. Would it either not work off or would it break your hair?
It would probably
it would damage the hair.
Yeah.
So like for something like shampoos and conditioners in Japan, sometimes I use certain shampoos and it makes my hair so, the texture is so weird and it's so dry and it feels, I don't know, it feels really weird. But some of them you try it and then your hair feels very smooth and silky, you know. Those ones are good. But depending on the brand or like the products you use for your hair, you know, it's either damages it or helps it. Do you understand? So you have to like look into, do a lot of research, girl. Oh my god, my hair.
Okay, I think we've said a lot.
Yeah,
to finish off, I want each of you to tell me like one tale that when you think of your hair, that tale like stands out. Like a story, like
a tale.
Tell us yours, then we use that as example.
Okay. So mine would be maybe when I think I was in grade 1 or 2, and so there's a lot of load shedding in most African countries. In South Africa, there's a lot of load shedding. In Lesotho, there's not. So
what's that?
Load shedding is when like electricity cuts off.
Turns off
in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
That happens a lot. In
Ghana,
Lesotho,
we call it Dumso.
Oh, Dumso. So in
Dumso means turn it off, turn it on.
Oh shit, Dumso. Yeah, there are a lot of Dumso in South Africa. In Lesotho, it doesn't happen often. But once I was in primary school, and so it happened. So because of that, sometimes it would happen, sometimes it would not. We'd have like a few candles like closer where we would light on candles case, like, when because it wouldn't go for a long time, maybe an hour. So at the time I was doing my assignment, and then so basically my little sister I think she was really young, but I was doing my assignments closer to a candle, right, writing down and stuff. I don't know what I don't know what my little sister did, but she passed, and then my hair caught flames. Yeah, and my mom jumped in like, oh my god, my mom literally trying to put out the fire, and then after
literally in flames.
Yeah, it was. And then well, she did, and then the fire went off. But then now it was my little sister in trouble. She was like, "You trying to kill her? Are you trying to kill my daughter? What are you doing?" and stuff. That like it's like one of the funniest moments when I think about my hair. I'm like, damn. And even now, like my little sister and I, when we talk about it, it's just like, oh my god, that was so funny. Like it was scary but funny as well, because my hair was literally on fire. Like it was like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just imagining you with like a
it was so funny.
Oh my god.
Like it was really funny. Like every time And it's also like, it was funny but also precious, because I'm like, at the time she was just a baby. She was just a kid.
What do you mean by just a kid? Like
I think she was 1. Like, she didn't know. You know how kids
baby.
do random shit.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, it's not even she passed or something. I think she literally picked out one strand of my hair and like put it on the fire.
Oh, she purposely.
Yeah, I think that's what she did, because it didn't make sense how my hair caught fire.
Oh, okay.
I think she did something, and then like it started like, and then she was like, she didn't even know what to do. It was like one of the craziest tales about my hair, but also represents like how much like family means to me, because all of the things I told you about my hair, my culture and stuff, it all roots back to my family. You know, yeah.
It's your hair. I get it.
Yeah, for me, my hair, I think one time that I really remember is the first time I had to ever shave my hair for fucking high school. And I only went to that high school for 4 months, so I regret it. Like, having to shave my head, you know, it was a big thing. Like, I felt like I'm never gonna take a picture again. I'm never gonna post myself on WhatsApp, you know. I'm like, I felt like every time when it comes to my hair, people make those decisions for me of what to do with my hair, you know. So it was upsetting for me to like go and get my hair. And the person who shaved my hair is like my dad's friend or something, bro. Like, he didn't do me justice.
Stop.
And when I sat in that chair and told him it's for school, he knew exactly what to do to my head.
Just
everything gone, like, bro. Like,
yeah, they shave it off. Like, you're left with a nut.
I've shaved my head, like, I can't even explain how many times. Like, I just get bored when I shave my head.
Like, shave it off to be bald or what?
Yeah. No, like,
you were bald
so many times, like
but that's your option.
Year 5,
you know, like
yeah, that was your decision,
and
though.
your hair will grow back fast.
I shaved my head off.
Yeah, they also had a thing
and
that
then I went back to school after summer, and like the kids, because we were all like 10 years old in year 5, they thought I had cancer over the summer, so I shaved my head off.
Shit.
They made fun of me, but
you see, if you cut your hair, it's always like there's always a negative connotation in it. Like,
it's okay.
She's sick.
Yeah, I mean,
she's
you know, some people,
ugly. She's, you know,
listen, but some people shave their head when their mental state is not really good.
Some people do
you know that. It's like related to that.
Yeah, exactly. Some people do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people, when they're pregnant, because it's like,
it's
hard, you know.
They start losing hair and stuff.
Really?
Oh, some people like just cut it off.
Some people.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was my one of my cousins. She was like, "Yo, I'm going in labor. I'm gonna shave off of my hair. I'm about to go on a war."
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to hair. For me, it's just like growing up, everyone made the decision for what my hair is supposed to be and all of that. Should I cover it up? Should I shave it? Should I do that? It was so annoying. So like once I got my freedom, which was when I came to Japan, I let my hair grow out. I explored like different hairstyles. I learned how to do hair. I'm gonna go to hair school, like beauty school after university to learn more about hair and like I want to do more in like the hair industry and stuff, right? So it's like really important to me. And when I have baby girls, like I'm gonna have like a salon in my house.
Yes, that's what my mom used to do. Like, she would do our hair all
I'm gonna have a whole room salon, like with everything.
I wouldn't even go to like blow drying my hair. Like my mom would do everything, like, braid it, like blow dry it, everything.
Like even like with my past relationship, like I did my guy's hair for him, so it was also like a really nice time.
It's a way to like,
do you understand? So it's like so it's not only for me, it's really important that I know how to do hair and that I'm able to maintain my hair. As much as I can maintain other people's hair, I can't maintain my own hair. That's the problem.
Actually, I was doing Keenan's hair when I was at his place.
You mentioned his name.
She's gonna cut this thing off. I know she is.
I'm not actually, but I was doing his hair, and it was like
where I
so
she's gonna cut it.
No, I'm not gonna cut it off. It's okay to think that way, but he's my man, and I'm not gonna cut it off. But the thing is, like, the whole thing that you were talking about, like when you're doing your hair,
I want to do.
It's
like
a way to bond and like
I'm gonna learn how.
It's so good.
I'm
like
gonna learn how to
shave
shave.
how to shave.
Like the how
Trim
the men
it,
fade
yeah.
and all of that. I'm gonna learn all of that.
Yeah,
I want to
so
spend that
cute.
kind of
That's
time
cute.
with my
Yeah.
children, with my man. You know, if I can't braid your
Exactly.
hair, don't worry, sit down. I'll shave it for you.
It's also a chance to like spend time with
If I
your
can't do it,
loved
nobody
ones.
can
It's
do it.
really nice.
Exactly.
It's really nice, yeah.
It's so nice.
I used to do
honestly,
my
yeah.
cousin's hair. Like I didn't even know how to do.
I mean, I've
Because
done
also it's like
hair.
African
Yeah.
hair salons. When you go there, that's where you get a lot of gossip.
Juice.
I was just
Because
about
I'm
to
also
say
like,
this.
when you're doing
Like,
hair,
I've
it's more
heard
like
about
now
this
you're having
thing.
conversations, you're
Yeah.
bonding, you're telling each other stories. So it's
I've
like
heard it's
that
like a
relationship with.
community thing, like hair salon day is
It's
like
a-
day.
yeah.
It's like you have
Like,
to
you
be
gotta
at the
sit there,
Oh my god, like hair
Wow.
salons
The
are my favorite
gossip.
places.
I swear.
You
While
go
you're
there, you
doing
get
it.
all the gist, even about the hairdresser herself. She will tell you. I went back home when I went back home, I got to learn that the hairdresser's husband was cheating. She was also cheating on her husband. Like you get to like it's a lot of gist. Literally,
So fun.
literally, you just go to hair salons to just sit there. I used to love going to hair salons because my mom is in dreads, right?
Mhm.
She would go to hair salons and I'll just go there just so I can listen, like all the people's gossip,
Stories
you
and
know?
stuff.
It's
Oh
really
my
fun.
goodness.
Yeah, it's
like,
so fun.
I think currently, like, luxury is associated with hair.
Mhm.
Like being able to go to a salon and get your hair done,
Mhm.
it's some sort of luxury as well.
Mm.
You know,
Oh,
so
really?
yeah.
Is it expensive?
No, not in Africa.
Africa, it's so cheap.
I'm talking about in
It's
Japan.
very, very, very cheap.
Like in yen, how much would it be?
Oh my god! Like when I went home, remember the curly thingy that
Yeah.
I did that for like I think 1,500 yen. Even the one I
Shut
came
up,
with from
no.
back home, I did it for like 2,500 yen. It's so cheap.
You know, before we
Yeah.
used to, before COVID, you could, not even before COVID, like when I was in junior high school, you could get your hair, this kind of braids done for 40 cedis, which currently in yen will probably be like 300 yen or something.
So say if I wanted to do my hair type,
300 yen? Like 400 yen, 500
Stop.
yen. Yeah.
getting my hair done in Japan takes like 1 yen because it's expensive.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
in Japan,
different.
like haircuts
It's different.
in general are very
And
expensive.
in
Like,
Japan
a normal
too,
cut is like
there's
5,000 yen.
products, right? So people just wash their hair at home, you know. But in Ghana, not everyone like have that products
I
and
see.
water and all. Like, there's water in Ghana, please, but people don't want to do all of that.
they have to know.
They have to know there's water.
We're
in my
not
country.
saying there's no water.
It's like people don't want to do it because it's difficult to do it
Like, I get
yourself.
by
It
yourself.
hurts. You know, I would do my my niece's hair, and she would literally sit there and cry the whole time, you know. But then when she finishes, she's like laughing and be like, oh. I'm like, exactly.
Wow.
So
I
it's a
feel
lot.
like hair for me was like I grew up with it, very thinking it's very mendokusai because
Mm.
sports it got. But also one thing you have to understand about our hair is like every time we shave it, it grows back differently. So when I was born, I had like very like floofy hair, like it would grow as an afro, like it would grow outwards
Yeah.
rather than down. Then when they shaved it, it grew back like pin straight. And then when I shaved it in England, I had the worst hair texture in England. Like it would just be not curly, not straight. It would just always be frizzy. Like no matter what I did, it would be frizzy. Then when we moved back to BD and I shaved my head again, it grew back like wavy, but like maintainable. When I shaved it again in BD, it grew back like pin straight. And then just before I came, a year before I came, I shaved my full head again. And now it's like back to that like wavy, straight texture. So every time we shave it, the type of hair, it changes. And the maintenance, it changes because now different shampoos will work on it. And if you don't take care of it, it's going to start falling out. Like one thing, it falls out. Like if you don't take care of it, like you don't oil it and you don't shampoo it properly, it'll fall out, all of it. Like you can tell the difference when you braid your hair, like one full braid, it'll be like half of what it used to be. Like it's, if you don't know your hair type and the shampoos to use, it'll be very hard to keep it.
Yeah.
But my main tale about my hair is I remember that when I put the hijab on, like the most like significant memory I have is this guy came up to me and then in Bangladesh, and then he was just like, you know, I had a crush on you this whole time, but now that you put your hijab on, you look really ugly. And I was like,
What the
and I didn't know who this kid was. Like, I just knew he was in my class and he sits at the back. I didn't know him like that. So when he just came up to me before we entered the lift and he said it, I was like, oh, like, okay. That was such a random thing.
Yeah. So we have covered a lot
about hair.
Okay,
we've covered a lot, and we hope you learned a lot too, about our cultures, our religions as well,
our experiences,
experiences as well. Yeah,
we have different experiences. She's Muslim, I'm Muslim, but we have different
ways.
experiences when it comes to hijab and hair. She's African, I'm African. We have different hair experiences.
And also, what are your hair tales? Like, what stories do you have to tell about your hair? Type in the comments and tell us, like, your amazing moments, your sad moments relating to your hair. Like, we want to hear all of that. You ever set it on fire? Like, stuff like that, guys. So unfortunately, we have to say bye-bye. This is the end of episode 4. Catch you later.
Bye.